Okay, so my friend Ryan told me I could do beats and submit them to a website and maybe get them used, maybe in video games, and maybe even get paid. And I wanted to share with you kind of how I put this together. This is a beat that I made, and you can't just record and expect it to be okay. You have to do a bunch of remixing and stuff. What I started with was actually this. So let's look at what we did here. For this cowbell, the original thing, I actually had to turn up the. Where is it? The room. The room reverb on the cowbell. But that was one of the last things I did. The main thing that I was dealing with was this one, seismic. It was just too much bass. And if we listen to this alone, we can see when we look at my EQ here, I've moved down the EQ and I've bumped it up here so that it's actually rather quiet, and yet there's so much bass that I had to move it way down in volume. If we look at this, I just left that. It's just an electronic hi-hat. And this too is electronic hand claps, which I didn't modify whatsoever. Another thing I had to heavily modify was the Hoover bass. Um, it's funny, I can hear delay on here, and yet the delay is completely turned down. Is that for real? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I moved the delay up here, right there. And I also did EQ because this thing was way too bassy. And you can see how much bass I had to subtract from this thing. And that wasn't quite enough, so I added this. And I didn't really mess with this at all. I just added it. So, when we go back, we have. And it's amazing to me that I can do all this in a shed. Like, I'm literally out here in my office, which is my second shed, which Thomas built for me. It's about 8 by 8. And I'm at a desk, and I've got a little Akai MPK mini keyboard. And I plug it in, and I do my stuff, and the battery runs down, and then I go back and recharge it. This is how we do it, folks. And it's fun. It's excuse me, way more powerful than, I guess, I don't know, it's similar to the Amiga when I worked on the Amiga, where you could just, like, you could control so much stuff. So, anyways, I know this isn't great, but I'm going to submit it because I know a lot of people are submitting stuff that isn't great also. And in fact, look at Event Horizon. I actually turned down the EQ, the bass on that one. You have to control the bass. You don't want too much. You just want just enough to let people sink in and dig it. Can you dig? Alright. Peace out. How do I stop this thing? Oh, stop record.